Right, well, I've been muted for a long time then, apparently. I thought I'd started it without it being muted, but big apologies to anyone that's been watching. Welcome to qualifying for Taco Tuesday. It's not the full series. This is just a pre-shakedown event for everyone that's going to be participating in the full series to get used to the sim post update and just to fill the time a bit, really, because we're after the last series and getting the next lot started up. It's just making sure that everything's all running as normal. So again, apologies for unintentionally being muted. I thought I'd launched the stream without it. So yeah, there's going to be a good 20 minutes of no voice. But well, good evening, and ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, fast and slow alike, and welcome to Brands Hatch Tuesday night. As you may have, if you've been watching the stream, even though it had zero commentary, it did have some commentary, just you couldn't hear it. It was some of my best work. Actually, which is a real shame that that's lost to the annals of time. But that being said, we were seeing Vionut in the Ferrari going fastest, putting in 124s, and Will Friedman, Renville, I Am Slow, all putting in 125s, which is what we were seeing in the free practice. So let's is Vionut out? I think Vionut is out. I think that's worth jumping on board with Vionut, as he was so dominant in the free practice. Let's have a look as he brakes now, turns into third through Clark Curve, coming now onto the main pit straight for his first fast lap of the session. Staying left here, maximise the time. Braking into Paddock Hill, very difficult to get this one correct. Using just enough curb on the outside into Druids. A nice late braking into Druids there as he turns in. Again, I said that the inside curb of Druids can suck you in rather than spits you out as he turns into Graham Hill. Another one you want to watch the curb out because it will spit you out into the grass. Very difficult to recover time there. Surtees now, really difficult corner. Turning in late here to get on the power early. Exactly what you want to do to really maximise your drive here down through Pilgrim's Drop towards Hawthorne. Lots of people have different braking points here, but braking at that final marker board there is about as late as you dare. Blind right here through Westfields, doesn't take too much curb and probably go wide there, almost invalidates but doesn't. Through Dingle Dell now towards Sheen Curb, another blind right. Pure faith here, just muscle memory as to where the corner is. And braking off the second gear, hooking it in, just getting that camber out of the corner. Might get a bit of a toe off of Fresh Jinx as he breaks through Clark Curve here. As he comes up behind Fresh Jinx, that might improve his time somewhat. As we are looking at sticking to the right there to hit the start-finish straight as early as possible. A 24.393. That, I believe, will be good for pole. Excellent effort there, Vionuts. Fantastic work. Will Friedman will be looking to do that. He's just come down Paddock Hill, going in towards Druids now. We'll stay on board with Will Friedman, who's riding along in the McLaren at the moment. Down through Graham Hill. We left. Just taking a bit of curb there. We are already 10th up on his best time. Braking, staying in third for Surtees. Oh, I think he's slowing down to a stop. Clearly not happy with that lap for whatever reason. Pulling over to one side, letting other racers go through. So, Papano 92 doing well in his Ferrari. We'll have a sit with him. See if he can improve. So braking after the turn there. Holding a little bit of positive delta for this lap. Down through Dingledale. Sheen curve here, takes a lot of curve, that'll invalidate it. Bit too much. You can just about get away with the left wheels over the red and white hatching of the curb, but if you go much further than that, like Papana just did, you're looking at invalidation. Looks like he's slowing down to a stop here. That's quite slow through Clark, and that will probably affect any subsequent laps that he attempts. You really want to get your last corner drive as you would normally, taking second through Clark curve, but he's taken Paddock Hill quite well to be 2/10 up already. First gear through Druids, staying away from the curb. Probably could get on the power a little earlier than he did, but I'm not sure of his setup. Good turn there through Graham Hill, that was very nicely done. And just creeping up on the Delta, braking for Surtees now, holding into second. Yeah, turning in maybe a little later might give better drive out of that. As you can see, the Delta now dropping away. Very, very difficult corner Surtees to get right, especially the turn-in. Interesting style there. I quite like it, the turn-in before the brake and shift down. Oh, bit of a miss shift there. Not looking like we're going to improve on this. There's probably not 3/10 to make up through these last few corners and on Clark curve, unless perhaps keeps it in third. Okay, so Papano starting again. How are we doing? The rest. Vionuts is still out there again, looking to improve his time. I am slow, expected to go a bit faster. Let's stay with I'm slow, because I'm slow was second in free practice, so I was expecting a little bit more higher than fifth for I am slow. Looking like we've got a positive delta. Got good drive out of Surtees down Pilgrim's Drop. Lot of coasting there through Hawthorne, but that's made up quite a bit of time. Hopefully I'm slow going to be able to get into the 124s here. Definitely knows capable of it. Was very close to doing it. Never want to see a yellow flag there. Towards the end of your lap, very easy to get distracted with all this dust going up and everything, cars off to the side. It's easy to target fixate. Coming up behind, to be continued Woodward onto the pit straight now. I'm going to go 4/10 faster, almost into the 124s, but good enough for third at the moment. Still 4 minutes left in qualifying, so maybe worth a quick setup change and pop back out onto the track. Who else have we got? Who's going on towards the rear here? Got Sean the Purple Peril in his Audi. Love the sound of that Audi. That V10 sounds fantastic. Second gear through Clark Curve. So 4.5 seconds off the pace at the moment, Sean. Staying right to get the best time, but staying right there is going to really mess up your turn into Paddock Hill, unfortunately. Yeah, you're going to have to come back to the left of the track there to be able to really attack that in any meaningful way, as I just flick between all the people that are pulling over. Fresh Jinx, 2 seconds off the pace. Currently riding in a Mercedes. Have a ride on board here. So not much for Fresh Jinx to get ahead into 9th, but unfortunately we are 9/10 of a second off the time already. Who's close to what? Renville and Evan IRL, we are looking close to one another in time. So Renville will be looking to improve by 1/10 of a second to gain 5th, get up onto the 3rd row. Looks like we just had someone join. Is that Fresh Brizzle coming back in? Had he left for a point maybe? So at the moment, 2 tenths up. And looking like we'll be moving into a third row for Renville, so long as Evan IRL, which I guess Evan, is that Evan IRL for in real life, or Evan IRL for Ireland? I have a sneaky suspicion you're Irish. As well as, you know what, no one knows if we're pronouncing this right. Some people say Renvilla. I say Renville R, they shorten it to Renville. I hope that's alright, mate. I mean, you haven't complained yet, so we'll just go with it, eh? Oh, and we are running. Oh, we're just losing time through Clark Curve there. Can he make it up towards the end? Squeaking that 10th out. It's not going to be enough. Stays in 6th. Oh, gosh. What's that? 15. We need... Oh, Renville, keep going, mate. You're only 1/100th off of the next position. You're that close, pal. Minute 30 still to go. Right. Minute 13 to go. Any of the leaders still out? Papano still... he's just pulled over, never mind. Evan IRL going to have half a second to make up in order to progress into the second row. Getting a bit out of sorts there in the Ferrari. Again, the Ferrari can be such a powerful car around Brands Hatch. It is monstrously quick with the right setup. So, 46 seconds to go. This will be last chance to get up onto the second row for Evan IRL. Braking late into paddock. Oh, really wrestling the car through there. Hard braking, takes a diagonal line, which I like. I like it because that's the line I take. Through Druids, and we're up a little bit of time. Braking as late as he dare there for Graham Hill and trying to throw it in. Very close to validating the lap there. Through Sheen here, staying a little wider than some, coming in, touching the apex, struggling to get the power down there, but a bit of positive delta doesn't go amiss. Looking for a little bit more. Can he make it up through the latter half of Sector 2 and into Sector 3? As he throws it in there, stays the same, into Westfields, down to Dingledale, throws it in, well, that's the line we'd like to see, taking lots of curb. Running a bit wide through Dingledale. How brave are we going to be through Sheen? Braking at the last marker board. Turning it in. Catching a bit of grass. Taking curb. Getting out wide. 2 tenths up. It's probably not going to be enough to get onto the second row unless something magical happens out of Clark Curve here. Oh, just correcting a little bit of oversteer on entry. We're very, very close, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It will be good for 5th. Excellent efforts there, Evan. Thank you for letting us ride on board. We are going to ride on board with 3rd place for our race starts. I like running on board with 3rd because 3rd usually will try something brave on the first row into the first or second corner. And actually you catch a little bit more of the action further down the pack as well. So, how much time left have we got in? Yes, it is over. We will now be waiting for the race to start. So, a pretty definitive start for Lionut, and unfortunately, Evan IRL coming through on the Discord there saying that his internet's just given up the ghost. Unfortunately, that's not ideal. Hopefully he'll be able to get back in time. Let's not leave it with the buzzing sound of a helicopter. Let's leave it here with all these lovely cars in a line. Vianut. Apologies, Vianut, if you were in the last series. I didn't commentate on the higher tiers. Of course, I only got one tier now, so if you were in that and did well, I'm sorry this, but you're new to me commentating. So if you are new to FRL, excellent start. If you have been around for a bit, sorry. Just, well, good job anyways. So, session starts in 2 minutes 30. Has Evan IRL managed to get back in? Of course, I can't see that because we're stuck in the wonderful limbo of not being able to return to garage. And there is his empty spot on the grid. That is a shame. Very sorry to see that. But that gives Renville a bit of space. He says he's back. 2 minutes to go. Hopefully he'll get back in. It'll be a pit lane start, like he says. Yeah. Yeah, no one likes a disconnection. So, what to do about Vianut? Got two Ferraris in the front row, followed by McLaren, Bentley, many more McLarens behind that. I think Vianut with that pace in that Ferrari, I think someone's going to have to really get in front of him and slow him down to cause him any trouble. He's got every chance of just walking away with this race. So only 40 seconds to go now until the start. Evan IRL, has he managed to get back in? They're saying 20 in the server, so it looks like he has. Good to see him back. Shame about the disconnection. He'll start from the pits, but I'm sure he'll be able to do some mighty work from the back to move through the field. Might see if we can jump on board with him as and where we can to watch him fight through the back markers to get back up to his place. Of course, I'm sure he'll be keen to do that early on. Big issue with Brands, as with a lot of the British tracks, small and tight Ford GT3 cars, so the qualifying is so important, so difficult to pass, very few decent opportunities without doing anything a bit overly brash. And starting to make our way now. As said, that we are going to follow with Will Friedman initially. Third place, always a good position to start with to get a good overview of the race. And by the way that they started, this looks guided to me. Not a huge fan of guided myself. I'm more of the unguided kind of guy. Some people hate that with the it can get a bit manic with people driving through one another, but if everyone's paying attention, you can set your own pace, and it gives a little bit more the strategy. As Will Friedman, thank you there for taking out the corner cones on Graham Hill Bend there. No one likes them, they're always going to go eventually anyway. Has come through Surtees. Now you can just see the Indy circuit peeling off there for Club Corner, I believe, and Clearways. Brands Hatch, another one of those fantastic British tracks where half the track can be seen from just one location. For the general public spectating, it's fantastic place to go and visit. And it really does go deep into the woods back here, down Pilgrim's Drop here into the Hawthorns, Dingledale, Sheen Curve and on. Everyone trying to keep their tyres warm now. That I am slow in the Bentley, holding the brakes throughout. That old chestnuts give about 10% brakes while you drive through the lap, to not only warm your tyres, but of course, get some pad wear on the go. I'm not sure. I've never been massively convinced myself of its of its use. Some people swear by it, others don't. Others do the old left, right, and do their best not to hit the wall. So not long now as we turn down on our way towards Clearways, going double file. Everyone getting a little bit out of sorts. I think Renville might be on the wrong side there. You've got to remember that Evan RL is not in it, but it seems to have sorted itself out. Woodward. God, Woody up in 5th. Congrats, mate. I didn't see you up there. Sorry about that. Will Friedman taking out the cones for everyone. Very good ice of him. A gentleman racer, if there ever was one. Yeah, sorry, Woody. I didn't even spot that. Fantastic effort, mate. Cracking job. And we're approaching the line now. We'll get going on towards Paddock Hill Bend. Tough corner to go too wide through. There's the green light, and they're off. I am slow, having a little nosy. Looking clean so far. Everyone getting through. Looking clean towards the back as well. As Vionut takes a decent lead straight out the bat. Oh no, there's been big contact. Woodward's been taken out by one of the purple Audis. Big shunt up at the back there. How much has that caused Woody all the way at the back? Oh, that's harsh. Sorry to see that, mate. Got taken out straight away. Everything else seems relatively clean as all the positions go flying around. Someone taken to the grass a little bit there. I think that was Tro. So we've got Varnut, Will Friedman. As I Am Slow goes down the inside there of the Ferrari of Papano, and he will complete that corner there, pushing him pretty wide into the grass. They're still going too wide. Look at this fight. What a fantastic effort. And now in through Sheen Curve, he has got the move completed as he continues on. Any other fights down the way? Got Jester and Fresh Jinx here, pretty close to one another. Coming right up. It's very difficult to be able to get anything done through Clark Curve unless someone makes a mistake. But he's going to give it a go. Up and down the field, we're seeing everyone's look pretty close to one another. I Am Slow just taking out some more cones just for the benefit of all the other racers. No one likes the cones. So we've got those two, and Jester looks like he's completed the thing. Look at all this gaggle of cars here. Looks like that's Lurchies, Renville, Tro, P1 SJF, followed by Big Time Dave, all battling for position there. Varnut still being challenged by Will Friedman within half a second. I Am Slow dropped back after his battle there with Papano, who's still only 0.3 of a second in it. Jester following close behind Dinder Mufflin there. And then, of course, this big gagglers, Renville and Tro, look at each other. P1 SJF is just sat behind them, hoping to pick up the scraps if they mess with each other too much. Let's just stick with this a little bit. I'm keeping my eye on the leaders and seeing that the gap is increasing. There's nothing too much there. As Renville goes wide and Tro takes the advantage there, P1 SJF pushes up a little bit. Wouldn't want to get too close through Sheen Curve. You have to back out a little bit too much, and you lose your momentum going down towards the rest of it. As Renville tries to go up the inside there, or at least get his car alongside. Not Lurchy, sorry, Tro 246 backs out of it a little bit. Big Time Dave coming there up behind P1 SJF. Got this four-way battle here. The 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. Sorry, 9th, 10th and 11th. So some good stuff coming down now into Paddock Hill Bend, this trail of 5. Are we going to see them break up a little bit? Someone takes the sand there a little bit. That's going to be... Whoa, that was quite a brave move by Big Time Dave there. It hasn't paid off. It looks like he's waiting for P1 SJF to sort himself out and come back. But that is the problem with Druids, and as Sean unfortunately getting a bit out of sorts there with Purple Snack coming through. That is the problem with Druids. If you outbrake yourself, if you try and stay to the inside, you're going to collect people turning in. It's such a slow, tight hairpin. It's always best to sacrifice oneself and dive into the wall, I'm afraid. Will Friedman here, half a second behind Vianut. Definitely, that looks closer than half a second to me. But he's really pushing it. So Will Friedman in the qualifying, I believe it was about half a second off the time of Vianut, but it'll be really interesting here. Looks like I said, it's very difficult to pass in Brands Hatch, but to keep with someone as well can be quite difficult with the dirty air. There's not a lot of straights at Brands Hatch to make use of slipstream. So for Will Freeman to push up this close to Vianut looks pretty exciting. And of course, if he manages to tangle with Vianut, we'll be looking at I Am Slow and Papano possibly catching them as well. Let's ride on board with Will. Hopefully not give him any of the commentator's curse. Let's see his progression coming up towards Vianut 2906. So the Ferrari, an unlikely strong car round Brands. Doesn't seem like it would suit a car like the Ferrari, but it really does, especially, as I said, if the setup's correct. You can make this car so stable, it just feels like it's going around the track on rails. Much like the new BMW M4 that's in the updated version of the PlayStation 5. It just goes everywhere on rails. And Will Freeman right up the back of Vianut now, really pushing him, really hoping to see maybe in the next 2 or 3 laps an attempted move on Vianut. I really think that's on the cards. Very similar lines through Paddock Hill. How are we going to take Druids? Yeah, very much the same, still a little bit of a diagonal. Looks like Will really gets the drive out of that a lot better than Vianut, who went a little bit wide there. Both breaking late into Graham Hill. As Vianut just pulls out a little bit more of a lead there. Sheen curve, sorry, Surtees even. So important to get the drive on early here. As the timing saying that it's dropped back to 7/10 of a second. So just dropped back there. I think we lost it a little bit through Graham Hill. So I'll keep an eye on that. And look up and down the field where we've got Woodward leading Darren Mark and Sop Steve. Let's watch this. There looks like there is a lot going on between the three here. So let us, I think it's time to apologies. Let's take the driver IDs off, and for this 3 here, let's sit with oh, someone's just gone off there. I'm not sure, someone in a McLaren Astral Racer looks like. So let's sit with Evan IRL, who of course started from the pits after supposed to be starting in 5th, and is going to be trying to make his way. He's already up to 14th after starting in the pits. Excellent effort there. So he is looking to try and pass Darren Mark and Woodward. Woodward, of course, started in 5th, but taken out very early on at Druids, and now running down in 12th. So pretty close racing here. Woodward is a little bit further up, actually, so they can just see him there in his black and green McLaren. As Evan IRL has a little bit of a look around Darren Mark, but gets a little bit out of sorts, but thinks better of it. Very difficult to try and do anything around around Druids. Takes to the grass a little bit. Shades of our very own Chris Yvolton, fond of grass cutting. And that Porsche back there, Sop Steve, looking like he's probably just waiting for the two in front to slow each other up and cause a bit of problems for one another and then make the most of it. Let's have a look. So Will Friedman still running within a second of Vianut, which is good. He's keeping with him. Half a second for between I Am Slow and Papano. Actually, Papano just dropped there to a second there. Looks like. Well, let's have a look. Oh, we are really bunching up now, coming down towards Clearways and towards Clark Curve. Steve gets past Evan IRL there on the exit of. That's the one I can never remember, but there goes Evan IRL. Ooh. For an early pit and a little bit of a knock on the pit wall. Of course, it is customary to knock on the pit wall before entering. It's only polite to let them know that you're coming. So Fresh Drinks and Dinder Mufflin. Dinder Mufflin very difficult to pass, and the big Bentley being followed by the equally big Mercedes of Fresh Drinks, running within 0.3 of a second there. It looks a little bit further than 0.3 at the moment. Oh, 0.4 even. That makes. Oh, as Dinder Mufflin gets out of sorts on the grass there, and Fresh Chick smells blood and takes him down through Westfields on towards Dingle Dell. Yeah, so any mistake round Brands Hatch will be capitalised upon. On other tracks you might see people just back off there and think, oh well, I'll get the drive on you a bit later. But at Brands Hatch you take every single chance that you can get. There's a nice move there from Fresh Jinx to complete that nice and cleanly. Lurchies here and Jester in the Bentley. Lurchies in his Panda Mercedes, running close to one another as well. Coming up now towards Paddock Hill. Not much of an overtaking spot here. Lurchies is looking to get a bit of drive. Is he going to look down the inside of Druids? This is where lots of people like to overtake, but it's definitely one of the hardest. But if you're going to go wide like that and onto all the marbles and take all the grass, Lurchies couldn't quite complete it there. I'm not sure if he probably just lifted off because it's quite difficult to work out what people are doing. But Jester there going a little bit wide, out of sorts. Lurchies not quite capitalising on it, but forcing the errors like that, he'll be smelling blood. But this has allowed Fresh Brizzle in his red Bentley to catch up behind them. I'm sure he would have just seen that mistake and is hoping for some more to see if he can capitalise on it. Duzzy running by himself, Sean running by himself back there. We'll stick with Lurchies, Jester and Brizzle. Oh, sorry, very sorry. We are looking at Will Friedman, I Am Slow, and Varna all within 0.2, and Papano. So there must have been a bit of a mistake earlier. Sorry I didn't catch that. I said I'd keep an eye on the leaders, but they are getting really close now. There must have been an error somewhere. I say an error, we're talking about less than a second, but for these guys that are running up at the top four, just a single error on a single corner can cost you everything. And these guys are running so close to one another. But, as we've seen, other errors down the track has allowed people to make the most of it. Will we see something here? Now, if these guys are going to run this close to one another and not be able to get past because it's Brands Hatch and it's difficult to pass, how powerful is the undercut going to be? Are we going to see someone pit soon for tyres? Well, with 47 minutes to go, it's far too early just yet. But it could well be falling into people's strategy to pit early, get the fresh rubber on and undercut your rivals. Of course, clean pit stops in ACC, so important to get right. If you can nail that stop through into the pits without getting a speed warning, obviously, brake as late as you can, get your pit speed limiter on, get jacked up immediately by your pit crew. It makes all the difference. So we've got, speaking of pits, we've got Fresh Brizzle there already in the pits. Looks like he's going for a very early pit with 45 minutes still to go. So we've got Evan IRL, P1 SJF. It looks like he's just leaving the pits actually, and Astral Racer all pitted early as Astral Racer. Getting a little bit of out of sorts going up through Surtees there, easily done. Still running all very close to one another. You know what, I'm going to run on board with I Am Slow. Let's have a look, watch of this battle from his perspective. As you can see, the two leaders up front there. Might have to defend a little from Papano behind. And of course, riding on board with that fantastic right-hand drive, as all things should be. As he dives into the pit, early, 45 minutes. Clearly looking at the undercut. So, how will that pay off for him? Let's run on board with Will Friedman for a bit though. Papano running 1.3 seconds behind them. So difficult to pass, and we'll see this now, how tight the track is. And the braking zones, very few of them lend themselves to being able to outbrake someone. But then of course the getting the drive on someone without them making a mistake out of a corner to be able to be alongside them before entering the corner. It's very tricky, but Will Friedman really giving it his all here, following closely by Bayern up there. You know, it's just a matter of who makes the mistake now, and of course, curse of the observer. If I watch either of these guys, I'm going to make one of them do it. Well, hope not. We'll see how it goes on, but just one small mistake, just a touch to the grass or anything, miss shift, all it takes. Pure consistency is what will win you races in ACC, also than any other sim you're going to find, especially on console. But ACC, as a sim, really holds its own up against the likes of R Factor and iRacing, but just how good the fidelity is. So we're doing race paces of 125, which is very good. I wonder if we'll see some 124s at all, like we saw in qualifying. Or are we just all holding each other up a little bit too much? So it looks like Vianut usually gets a bit of a lead with Graham Hill there at Surtees, and then Will claws it all back, but they're clearly slowing each other up because Papano 92 behind them has made up nearly a second. And is now within half a second of Will Friedman, and will be looking to capitalise on any mistakes that either of these two make, as it looks like they're possibly about to start to pass a back marker. Who's that? Someone's going to be under blue flag shortly. Oh, apologies, I should have jumped into... likely be Astral Racer that they're approaching on. Astral Racer now just going through Clark Curve. They'll be onto the pit straight now. So there he is. Is that Astral Racer? I thought he was in a McLaren. I can't quite make out who that is yet. Actually, I believe that's purple. That purple snack in the Audi as he gets out the way for the faster cars. Always good to see. And Papano has jumped into the pits, also looking for the undercut as well. But Vianut and Will Friedman will stay up the front and continue to fight this. So let's have a look down the order again. Got Renville and Tro and Woody still in a bit of a battle. That's been going on for some time. Sop Steve down 18 seconds back. I wonder if something happened to Sop. Darren Mark not too far behind. I Am Slow, who's already pitted, is making his way up through the field. Does he to pass? Let's have a... If only I could work the controls. Let's have a look at I'm Slow, who will likely be able to pass. Does he with some ease? Or Darren Mark even, who's coming up on now. So I Am Slow already pitted. He's going to be looking for to do his best to make his way up through the ranks to improve his chances of this undercut working for him. Papano actually sat just outside in front of Darren Mark there. So Papano's pit has put him nearly 2 seconds ahead of I'm Slow as I'm Slow goes through there. I think it was like Darren Mark probably just gave him the position, didn't want anything part of that fight, and let I'm Slow through. So Papano gains a position on I'm Slow through the pits. So that undercut's worked for him. I wonder if I'm Slow just got held up a little bit. Just 2 seconds, mind, but it's enough. Just got held up a little bit through traffic coming out of the pits. As Will Friedman there now 8/10 off of Vionut rather than 2. And of course, really gaining on Papano here. This could be Papano's slightly cold, slightly low pressure tyres that he's just going to have to deal with for a lap or two before they get up to temp. They can really start pushing the car again. I'm Slow, of course, his rubber all be ready, Your Honour, as he comes across the line. Is he? No, he's not looking to do a move down into Paddock Hill, but I reckon I Am Slow is probably thinking of a move in the next lap as they approach the back of Steve there in that beautiful Porsche. I Am Slow has really closed the gap here to Papano 92. And while Papano is sat on some fresh rubber that still needs to come up to temp and still needs to come up to pressure, this is the time to make a move. Will he be able to capitalise on this? And actually, with Steve running just ahead, probably Steve's a little bit too far ahead to slow Papano down and allow I'm Slow to get an advantage, but we might see something in the next lap. So Will Friedman in the pits now. So he's pitted early, pitted before Varner, looking for that undercut. I would imagine that means that Varnut, well, whether he's going to pit around the halfway mark, or I wonder if he'll try and just see how long he can hold 125 as a race pace before pitting and be on the freshest rubber at the end of the race. We'll see which strategy is going to pay off, as I'm Slow really getting quite a bit of distance there on Papano. And is he looking down the inside of Druids? He is. They go too wide. Can they hold off from touching? Very difficult to do, and just a bit too slow to hold that tight route through Druids there. Fantastic racing. I don't think you're going to get two cars much closer than that through Druids. See the Bentley taking the slightly wider line there. Going to try and use its brute force out the back, and that is the best drive I've seen out of Surtees all day. Look at the speed advantage on the Ferrari there as I'm Slow gets past Papano. It just goes to show you that later apex through Surtees can really pay dividends. What drive out of that corner there to have it completed even before Pilgrim's drop. I thought maybe he would be able to get alongside for Hawthorns, but that was fantastic work. Bravo, sir. Well done. So Papano now runs behind I Am Slow. Late braking there into the corner that I always forget the name of. Sterling's. There you go, Sterling's corner. Into Clark Curve now. How much does Papano want to regain this position? Is the question. Runs nice and close to Paddock Hill as you're looking at drive up into Druids as they're approaching the backside of P1 SJF now. So let's ride on board with Papano, I think, and because they're going to come up on P1 SJF, who's running a little slower than them. This will slow I Am Slow down, Yeah, that sentence makes sense. This will slow the pace down a little bit. Of course, P1SJF will be under blue flags, so where he chooses to pull over, I would imagine, with the next bunch of corners coming, it'll probably be blue flags on the pit straight. It would make the most sense. Blue flags you see there being waved at the side, but of course it doesn't really mean anything until you're then half a second. I am slow going up the inside of P1SJF there. Of course, P1SJF. Oh dear. Yeah, so as Papano there running into the back of P1SJF, it's unfortunate to see. Sean there letting I'm slow through, not letting Papano through under blues. Difficult to call. Gut feeling straight away is, you know, that's okay to do. It's up to the faster car to pass. You know, passing back markers is part and parcel of the race. So Vianut in the pits. Interesting to see. Where's Will Friedman? Will Friedman running in 7th there. Vianut still in the pits. And possibly going to be coming out quite a bit behind everyone. And saying he's plus 1 lap down. Struggling to work out what's going on here. There you go. Vianut's just been dropped. Pulls out the pits. Where's he going to come out? So Vianut coming out in 12th. I'm not sure he would have had damage. I don't think he's come into contact with anyone, but that is a lot further down the grid than I would have thought. So, Will Friedman, number 1 to have pitted. I am slow, 4 seconds behind. Papano, 4 seconds behind. Fresh Brizzle, Evan IRL, who started from the pits. Congratulations, sir, to effectively being 3, 4, 5th where you qualified. So you should be happy with that. And then Vianut out in 12th. Well, he's got the pace to make this up. There's still 35 minutes in this race, but I am just a little surprised at how far down the pits he's come. It must be damage at some point, surely. So our leader at the moment, Dinder Mufflin, still yet to pit though. Fresh Jinx, 5 seconds adrift. Jester, 7 seconds. Renville closing in on him with 3 tenths only between them. Let's have a little look here. Looks like there might even be an attempt here. It's certainly close enough. If he runs close enough behind, I would imagine that there is a chance of a move either down to Clark Curve. You know, this Sterling's here. People can get a real drive out of there if they hook in the camber right. So he's running very close behind. So will we see a move into Druids? That's what I'm hoping for anyway. That's why I'm following it. It's close enough to do so if Renville gets a good drive out of paddock. Takes a later apex. Takes a bit too much curb probably to get the power down early, and that'll be exceptionally brave even by my standards. Tried to outbrake someone into that. Okay, let's continue to run down. Tro running 5 seconds adrift. Will Friedman, our realistic leader, being that he has pitted. I'm slow, 4 seconds behind that, with Lurchies in between them who'll be under blue flags. Papano, Darren Mark just getting out the way there under blue flags for Papano is good. Fresh Brizzle, he's running quite a ways back there. Evan IRL doing very well, mate, having started from the pits for the disconnection. Qualified 5th. We stayed on board for Evan's lap and it looked great, only to get disconnected to start from the pits, but to sit in effective 5th place, excellent work. Vianut, as we said, not really sure what happened to Vianut there. Who's been leading this race quite commandingly. He was excellent pace through qualifying, started on pole, led the race throughout, now to end up in 6th of the cars that have pitted. A little surprising. Steve here. Steve's been having a fairly solid race. Sat in 7th, coming up behind Green Bentley. Not sure which Bentley that is. Is that? It's not Tro, is it? It's in the pits. Tro's in the pits, so it's definitely not Tro. It's not Jester. Jester's in a black Bentley. Which Bentley is that? Oh, it's Dinder Mufflin. Of course it's Dinder Mufflin. So Sop's coming up behind Dinder Mufflin there, although they're at different parts of their race. Woody running in 13th. Real shame Woody having qualified so high up today in the McLaren. That's excellent work, and then it all sort of going a bit cropper in the second corner of the first lap, being knocked down. And of course, I can't remember if he got hit in the rear or to the side, but the McLaren can really take, if it takes much damage to the rear, it can really affect the downforce from that rear diffuser, which is so important. Lurchy's running in the Mercedes. There, Darren Mark in the Audi, P1 SJF. Unfortunately, been involved in a few incidents, as Sean. Not all of them his fault, I have to say. Big Time Dave running in a very fetching red Audi. Another Audi of purple snack. So we've got all the Audis from 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th. So the Audi club, rounding out the bottom 5 with Duzzy in his Aston Martin, and Astral Racer, I think, has been struggling a little bit with his McLaren, as Will Freeman Iron Slow passed Dinder and Renville in the pits. So the question is, are Dinder and Renville going to come out ahead of Vionut? I think there's a good chance they will, looking at where Vionut is. Evan coming through Sheen Curve, Vionut gaining on them. Dinder and Renville will surely be coming out the pits any second now. Dinder's looks like he's complete, been dropped. Evan RL on Clark. So will Renville get out as well? I'm not sure really. Don't know how long he's pitting for if he's damaged. There goes Brizzle. Renville's just been dropped. Here comes Evan, and Vionut will get past Renville, but crucially, Dinder Mufflin is up there as well. So Dinder Mufflin now running in 4th place as Purple Snack gets out the way of the leaders, Brizzle and Dinder Mufflin there. And Vionut keeps going further and further down. But of course we know he's got the pace to bring this back, but, Brands Hatch, notoriously difficult to pass. So I can only assume it's all gone wrong in the pits there. It's a bit of a shame. But can he claw something back? Coming up on Duzzy now, be under blue flags. Who, not quite pulling off the line. There he is, pulling off the line, allowing the Ferrari to go through. And so 2.3 seconds between Evan and Vionut now. Evan will be, how far is he behind Dinder? Still got Purple Snack to go past. So the leaders, Will Friedman, I Am Slow, Papano, all running with good distance in between them. They've really been separated by the pits and by running through traffic. Of course, Papano and P1 SJF having a little bit of a coming together earlier, so that's why he's so far back. Brizzle, Dinder, Evan, Vionut. This is the fight to watch now, because we are all here for position. So the closest here being Vionut and Evan. So let's run on board with Vionut as he tries to regain some of these places that he's lost. Well, Evan looking like get a little bit of he runs wide onto the grass there, getting a big bit of oversteer, but he holds it. Vionut coming down the inside, wanting to take it before Sheen, and he manages to. So, was that Dinder that just hit the wall? So Dinder's going to lose 2 places to Evan and Vian up there. Easy to get out of sorts coming through Sheen. Everyone's been there. Everyone's lost it, especially if you just pick up a little bit of grass on the outside. It can spit you off into that right-hand wall. You just become a passenger. So Vianut has made 2 places, 1 lap. Who's that coming out of the pits in the Mercedes? That's Fresh Jinx. They are fighting for position. Fresh Jinx closes the door straight away. Vianut looking on the inside, moving that Ferrari all over the back of this Mercedes, trying to find space, trying to get past, trying to regain positions. But Fresh Jinx is fighting position. This is not a back marker. I think Fresh Jinx was the last to pit. Good drive by Vianut out there out of Graham Hill Bend. Excellent move. They come very close to touching as they go side by side into Surtees, and Fresh Jinx has to back out of it. Let's ride on board with Evan, who'll have a good view of all this with Dinder Mufflin behind. Oh, getting out of sorts again a little bit through Hawthorns. Difficult to control the oversteer of the Ferrari there. Sends it a little bit smoother through Westfields there into Dingledale. And are we now going to see Vianut start to really edge out some distance now that he's in the front? It doesn't look like Fresh Jinx is really going to be fighting for that position now. As Dinder and Evan come quite close from the braking zone into Clark Curve, so Vianut pulling away now. Can't quite see how far away he is from Brizzle. 5 seconds. Quite a lot to make up, but in 25 minutes to go, you probably could, depending on that lap differential. So Evan, Dinder and Fresh Jinx all fighting for 6th, 7th and 8th. So excellent drive from Evan, I have to say, mate. Well done to get into 7th from the pits. It's an astonishingly good effort. Let's see if we can get 6th. I definitely think it's on the cards for sure. Just need to tame that Ferrari. As I said, with setup, the Ferrari can be on rails here. Evan looking like he's running a bit more of an oversteery setup. A little bit sort of more fractious, a little bit more nervous, the car. Throwing it in, holding 4th, which is good, through Hawthorn. Slow car ahead. White flags, not sure what that was for. Don't know if Vianut came a crop a little bit there. But we're running a steady half-second behind Jinx here. Oh, there's a dust being kicked up. There's Vianut. Let's have a quick look here. I think Vianut is... maybe not. I thought he'd pulled in right behind... he's not far behind Fresh Bristol, is he? As Evan now sits... ever closer to the Mercedes in front. So got to be thinking Paddock Hill, not a great place to overtake. Druids can be, if you get the drive out of Paddock Hill, which he doesn't have. Trying to outbrake someone to that is just tantamount to coming into contact. As tempting as it seems, because one of the harder braking, slower corners. Graham Hill, good luck getting anything done through here. Oh, as he goes out of sorts, takes the grass and just stops himself going into the wall, but he'll lose the place to Dinder Mufflin, and he'll have to start all over again and hope that Dinder Mufflin and Fresh Jinx get a bit closer to one another and slow each other up so he can catch up. So what are we looking at here? Is Duzzy... I thought Duzzy and Astral Racer looked close. Oh, Duzzy and Sesame Steve. So our leader, Will Freeman, going through Surtees there. That must have been who Steve and Duzzy were letting through. I'm slow, turning through Surtees now. Papana coming through Druids. Looks like he's coming to lap Sean again for the second time. Had a coming together under Blues, these two earlier. So hoping that's not the case this time, but they've got a nice straight for Sean to get out of the way, which he does go offline. That's much more what we're used to, as Papano there uses his windscreen wiper as a gesture of thanks, I guess. Brizzle, Vianut chasing Brizzle now. Evan is chasing Renville coming up behind Evan now. Evan taking some curb. So we have the two Irishmen, one in a Ferrari, one in a McLaren. Renville hunting Evan down. I'm going to keep an eye on the Vianut's fresh Brizzle, because Vianut definitely has the legs to get through on Brizzle. Renville breaking deep there into Hawthorns. He's getting up close behind Evan, trying to force the error. And for those of you that follow Taco Tier 2 or the British GT3 Sundays, I think we're all well aware of what Renville likes to do when he overtakes. He will put that car into the tightest of gaps. Aren't innuendos, of course. This is just unfortunately the way commentating goes in racing with the things you have to say. But he'll put it where he wants it, and you'll have to deal with it. As Vianut coming right up the backside of Brizzle now. Brizzle making a mistake. Vianut looking to go down the inside. Brizzle holding it, and again, you know, you got to sort of back out a little bit of Druids early. Vianut probably not getting the drive he wants out of Graham Hill there, just because of where the cars were positioned. He's diving up the inside, just showing the nose to Brizzle, trying to force the error, trying to see which car they are coming up on in front. Looks like a blue flag of Darren Mark as they pass him going into Hawthorns. That looked like Brizzle tried to get as much slipstream off of Darren Mark as he could there. Going to try and make this Bentley as big as he can to Tueaday. Looks like Renville has gotten past Evan, but we'll stick with Vianut for now. Brizzle just taking a little bit of grass, but that'll be okay. Got good drive. So as you can see here, you know, Brizzle, I don't think qualified in the top 6, and Vianut with this massive pace that he's got in this Ferrari around this track, just showing how hard it is to pass around Brands Hatch, trying to get the drive out of corners, trying to outbrake your opponent. It's all about capitalising on mistakes. Brizzle taking a bit of curb there. If you try and continue to drive after taking that much curb, you can find yourself spat out or sucked in. Again, awful terms, but someone's got to say them. Oh, coming right up the backside there. Who'll get the drive out? I mean, I think Vianut will have had to have just braked too hard going into Surtees there and ruin his chance of a drive, but he might make note of that for the next go round the lap as to a possible weakness. As Evan now dropping back a little bit behind Renville, who's still chasing Dinder. So Renville's gained the advantage there over Evan. Oh, that's a good drive through Sheen Curve there into Sterling's round the outside. That is brave and the touch. Gosh, that was a brave move. I don't think I've ever seen anyone go around the outside of Sterling's there, but it was worth a shot. Just got pushed wide, a little bit of a love tap by Brizzle, so we'll stay with this because this is fantastic racing by these two. Oh, that's uses his one defensive move to shut the inside there, Brizzle. So Vianut bailing out, taking the outside line. But that has definitely worked there. Brizzle using everything he's got to keep Vianut behind him. Can he survive for 17 minutes? Vianut's clearly got the pace here and taking a little bit of outside curb there, but doesn't seem to affect his drive down through Pilgrim's Drop. Just looking down the order there, down the standings. Renville now within 0.3 of a second of Fresh Jinx. Looking to, sorry, not Fresh Jinx. What am I on about? Renville within 0.3 of Dinder Mufflin. As Brizzle takes a wide line out of Sheen, come very close to tapping him on the back there, but Varnut finally gets through. Brizzle seemingly with the drive, not sure he's going to complete around the outside of Clark. So with Varnut ahead, let's go have a look at Renville and Dinder Mufflin. These two have fought plenty throughout the British GT3 Sunday series, where they were regularly on podium finishes and were fighting for the championship win in that series alongside Tro. So Dinder sticking with his Bentley that he knows so well, but Renville was running the Lexus last Taco Tuesdays. He was running the Bentley for the British GT3s, and now sat in the McLaren. Whether this will be his car of choice or the car he'll get to drive for this series, we don't know. So look at that later apex, wants to get the drive on. Look how early Renville's on full throttle there. Going to have to be in a car like the McLaren against the Bentley. The Bentley just has so much drive. It's really a bit more forgiving about when you get that throttle on. It's just got so much acceleration. You just got to be slower through the corners. You see the McLaren's just got all that downforce to help it through, as Renville's all over the back now of Dinder, really trying to push through, reminiscent of their battles in the British GT3 Sunday series that just finished last month. They're catching back markers now, which can be a help or a hindrance. We'll have to see how that'll affect it. But of course, as I said, their little tussle here, defending one another, slowed themselves down, and Evan is sat half a second, and Jester not long behind them. So Renville dropped back there a little bit. I wonder if he's having to just defend a little bit from Evan to stop Evan coming around the outside of paddock there as he's looking out. I might just go to an external shot as they get through Darren Mark, and the Bentley down the inside. Oh, I thought Jester there was going to try something very brave, but thought better of it. As we've now got a gaggle of three cars, Renville having to defend from Evan and Jester will slow his progress on Dinder when he was so close behind him. He's dropped back to a second now. You know, it's always easily said by the commentator, well, if they all just work together, then they'll catch up with the leader. But it's, you know, easier said than done when you're Jester or Evan in this, position, and you see a car in front that you might be able to get past. You're going to go for it. But to see a group of four cars with only 14 minutes left in this race is fantastic. To see racing going on all the way through. And Renville there, definitely the faster car through the technical end of Sector 2. Oh, I really thought they were going to touch there. And as Evan does touch Renville, but he probably had the drive out of Sterling there to get on it. But he touches and he does back off. Thankfully, no one there ended up out of sorts and off the track. And Jester did what I would consider to be the right thing there, which is it's easy to capitalise when a couple of cars are coming together there, but actually in that part of the track, sometimes it's better just to back off and not get involved. It's someone has got a drive-through. Oh, as Evan goes wide there and loses the place to Jester. Who has the drive-through? Lurchies and in 17th with a drive-through. That will, looking at that, likely put him in last, unfortunately. It is quite easy to get a drive-through round Brands Hatch. There are a couple of corners which the game considers a warning for track limits. The most common being Sheen Curve, the blind right-hander, third to last corner, which this group of cars is coming up on now. So you can get it here through Westfield. If you go a bit wide, sometimes you get one for track limits. But this here, so easy to get track limits there on Sheen Curve because, again, it's a blind turn-in, it's muscle memory alone, and as your grip changes in your tyres, as your fuel changes and changes the weight of the car and the balance of the car, you find yourself just doing ever so slightly different variations on the turn-in there, and then all of a sudden you find yourself taking too much and getting a warning for track limits. So it is quite easily done around Brands Hatch. As we continue to watch this group of four, as the places have flip-flopped between them a few times now. Only 12 minutes left. Renville right back up behind Dinder Mufflin again. Jester, who'd capitalised on Evans' excursion to the outside of Druids last lap. So they're broken away now into two groups of two cars here. So let's sit back on board with Renville, who's really right up behind Dinder again. These are two drivers which know each other quite well from fighting one another in other series, and they know that they're both quick, and they know that they'll both defend. And of course, this really is a defender's track. You can see even at the when a car goes out to one side here, there's not that much room for another car to get past, and the corners are also technical that outbraking is difficult. Getting alongside your opponent without them making a mistake is difficult. So you sit here and you just be fast and consistent, and hope that the other guy makes an error before you do, and you can capitalise on it. So Will Friedman still well out in the lead. Vianuts, who we followed earlier, who looks like he probably... Oh, Dinder Mufflin going a bit wide there. Will, it just goes to show you that it's not guaranteed to take a place through Druids if the other guy goes wide. As Renville goes through and gets them. What a fantastic move there. Forces Dinder Mufflin to take the tight line, as there's a double yellow just up the track here. Cars all over the place. Looks like Duzzy and Big Time Dave had a coming together of some sorts. Thankfully, these cars all got through that unscathed. But sorry, I got distracted there by all the dust and the dirt. As Jester comes up behind the pack. But yeah, it's not a given that you'll take a place through Druids, even if someone makes a mistake. Such a slow corner, as Jester goes wide there at Sheen. Looks to go straight on. I wonder if Evan was close enough there to capitalise. Evan being in the Ferrari, green Ferrari. It doesn't look like a green Ferrari back there. Sorry. So so Dinder coming out of Druids there, and Renville forcing him to take the much slower inside line through Graham, and then just cutting back. It's great to see it as Renville Dinder Mufflin goes wide through Paddock Hill there and loses a place. That's who that is. He's not losing a place, he's under blue flags, because this is Will Friedman, the leader in his black and blue McLaren, on his way through the pack. Only 8 minutes to go. So Renville will shortly be under blue flags for Will. So where is Evan in all this? There's Dinder, there's Evan, there's Jester. Lost the place to Evan then. So these four have been back and forth as Evan goes sliding through Westfields. That black and green Ferrari is so... it's got such a fantastic drift on it that he just throws the car through these corners, goes into four-wheel slides. I'm not sure it's the fastest setup. I'm very impressed that he takes it as fast as he does, as close as he can. As I was just about to say, that looked like it was about to happen. Jester just catching the back of Evan there, going into Clark. But good sportsmanship there for him to slow down for Evan. He's continued on, and Evans had to go into the pits. I think he's probably taken a bit of damage there. That's a real shame. It looked like just a bit too close, those two cars, and when you're not quite alongside, if you're going to put the nose of your car in a position like that, as Big Time Dave reversing out the pits, looks like he's Is he? Where's he going? Where's Big Time Dave going? Looks like he's trying to pull into a bay for a car wash. Not sure that's how it's done. Sorry, getting massively distracted there by some interesting decisions. Yeah, putting your nose up on the inside there when you are in a position that the space is always going to reduce as the car in front tries to go for the racing line. Just need to back out of it and not clip someone's rear quarter. So, I am slow. Papano. 6 minutes left in the race. Vianut and Fresh Brizzle round out the top 5. Jinx running long behind. Renville running in front of Dinder Mufflin now. He's got managed to get through a few laps ago. Dinder running well ahead now, no longer fighting with Evan and who was it? Sorry, Evan and Jester, who had a coming together and are now a few seconds adrift. Steve running in 10th. Tro not too far behind Steve really, but he'll be doing well in 5 minutes to close that gap, I think. Woody down in 12th, to be continued. Woodward. Haven't seen any of his famous antics this race. He's done very well actually, but struggled to regain the positions after the contact at the beginning. Evan, who jumped into the pits, I guess started from the pits, has had to pit twice. Looks like he probably took quite a bit of damage out of that contact at Clock Cove. Astral Racer in 14th. He was running a lot further back, but I guess there's been some contacts and he's made up for it. We've seen every time we've sort of seen Astral, he's might have been struggling a little bit with the setup of the McLaren, looking quite a twitchy beast. But to run in 14th, well done, sir. Darren Mark in that fantastic coloured Audi, running in 15th, and the Audis have been split up, but there's still 3 of them together. Purple Snack in 16th. The Purple Peril rounds Druids in his Audi. Duzzy, the only Aston Martin out on the track, running 18th. Big Time Dave sat in the pits. Looks like he's retired actually. And Lurchies did have a drive-through and now 9 laps down, so I guess he retired as a result of the drive-through. So everyone pretty spread out now, apart from maybe Tro and Steve. But they're not that close, really. Saying 2 seconds adrift. It looks like that's the closest on track. So as we round up with the last 4 minutes of the race, we're quite a distance from one another. But I think it bears saying Will Friedman leading this race with some fantastic consistency there. Wasn't the fastest in quali, stayed behind Vianut for lap after lap after lap. The undercut really paid off for him, got ahead of everybody else that he was ahead of. And of course Vianut, I guess, not having the best of pit stops, whether he pitted for damage or didn't quite make his mark. It drops him quite a ways down the standings either way, and it's worked out for Will as he closed on the back of the Mercedes of Fresh Jinx there. So for those of you that might be new to FRL, there's lots going on, and Will is responsible for our website, for our app, for all the fantastic interactive techie stuff that you see. It's all the come from the mind of the mad Frenchman who does a lot of work behind the scenes for FRL, as well as being exceptionally fast in a car around the track. So all the upcoming tech stuff, app stuff, and the all the database for the setups that you can get if you're a Patreon of the league, you have Mr. Friedman to thank. He takes a fair amount of sheen curve there, but that won't happen very often. So he won't have to worry about drive-throughs, I doubt, as he comes up on P1 SJF and Fresh Jinx under blues. Excellent part there for Sean, just to move off the racing line and let him through. Good work there. 2 minutes left, so 2 laps really left in the race now. Is that Jester getting past someone? No. Who was that? Is that Jester and Dinder fighting for position? And I've missed it. I can't quite make this out. No, it can't be. This is Dinder and another black Bentley. Who's the other black Bentley that's running around? That, oh, must be I Am Slow. Of course it is. That's Dinder getting out the way of I Am Slow under blue flags. This is the problem, gents, with so many Bentleys up and down the field. I know everyone likes them. They're good cars. They're very fast. But I look forward to seeing everyone's liveries come Taco Tuesday, where I can actually tell the cars apart, because there goes Jester. Number 3 car in black, and there goes I Am Slow. I appreciate there are different parts of the track, and that might just be me being a bit of a melt, but as far as I'm concerned, that is 2 dark Bentleys, and they were fighting one another earlier, so I missed it. Of course, I Am Slow running the number 109. Really was the number that I really wanted to have, but I Am Slow got in as a patron before me and secured the 109 number. So I've taken a different number. So no hard feelings against I Am Slow. Just seething hatred inside my heart for him, both for having that number and for also being so fast with a controller. Yeah. Nothing good to say about him really, other than that. So let's move on. Will Friedman then is coming down surely to finish the race now through oh, is that someone just going off in front of him as he goes through Sterling's? That looks like Brizzle moving out the way under blues. Will Friedman slowing right down behind him. He's got 10 seconds to play with between himself and I Am Slow, so that's not a problem. This should be the final lap. Checker flags out. Congratulations, Will Friedman, the Taco Tuesday Shakedown winner. I Am Slow coming in second. Papano just rounding Sterling's there on towards Clark Curve to bring it in third for our next podium finisher. Excellent start by there. Vionut as well bringing in fourth. Won't be far behind, but we can see the getting a good idea of the quality as Papana there across the line with a bit of damage to the front of his Ferrari. Vionut, where is he? Coming now down into Sterling's towards Clark to finish the race to come in fourth. Started in pole, very good pace. I guess it just didn't quite work out in the pits somewhere. But a sterling effort, and I can definitely see Vionut picking up podiums and wins throughout the rest of this season. Fresh Jinx in fifth there. Haven't seen much of Fresh as we've been around. Sometimes that's a good thing. That means a nice, consistent and well-paced race. As he rounds the last corner, Brizzle not far behind will bring out fifth and sixth. With the rest pretty much finishing already. So Fresh Drinks goes the line of fifth. Brizzle in sixth. Renville already finished seventh. Dinder Mufflin eighth. So those two from their fight in GT3 Sundays are in at the top 10. Ninth and Jester. 10th Steve. 11th Woodward. 12th Tro. 13th Evan, who started from the pits and it wasn't for a couple of small incidents, probably would have finished even better than that. Excellent attempt there. Astral Racer finishing a bit higher than we thought. Then here come the Audis, Darren, Purple Snack, and Sean, 15th, 16th, 17th. The Aston Martin of Duzzy in 18th, and then 2 retirements, Big Time Dave and Lurchy's Gaming, who retired in his drive-through. Indicative of things to come. This has been a free choice GT3 session, so all these drivers will likely be in different hardware come Taco Tuesday round 1. And it'll be interesting to see what people are in. Everyone's likely either picking what they'd like to be in or picking something they're good at here, or maybe just trying something out. Lots of Ferraris do well around brands. The Bentleys are always strong. The McLaren looking like a favourite amongst some soon. The Audis all picking up the rear there. Whether that's just Audi's round brands, I don't know. I don't know if it's just not particularly suited that car. The Audi certainly used to be much more of a fan favourite, but has lost favour over time, even though it does sound fantastic. That ends the pre-series shakedown. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully see you for the upcoming Taco Tuesday PS4 series. And from the top 5, so the top 4 at least, very, very close, good racing. Lots to look forward to. That's it from me. I'll catch up with you all next time when the series begins. Thank you.